Okay, hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the Broadlink RM4 Pro Mini, and we're going to be addressing one of the major issues that most of us face when we're trying to set it up. All right, I've been cracking my head over this to a point where I have to Google, literally have so many tabs open and Google, and the problem is user-defined remotes do not show up on Google Home. So I've got my smart home switch. That's a Broadlink switch. So it works fine, and I've got the air conditioning. It was an inbuilt option within the what you call this within the Broadlink app itself. So now this is the brand of my fan, and apparently I can't find this brand within the app. So I had no choice, and I had to customize the remote, which means I basically had to add a device, add a remote control. I had to do that, and I had to click user define. And when I click user define, I can basically add in the remote that I wanted. So I've done a simple version of it right now. Okay, so the RM4 Pro, it's connected to the internet. It's been set up, so I'm gonna press off. Okay, the sensor blinked, and you guys would have heard a beep sound. That's basically my fan turning off. Sorry, my room's in a mess, but yeah, the fan is turning off. And if I were to press the on button, and the fan has turned on. All right, so at this point, we know for a fact that within the Broadlink app, I can control the fan and everything works perfectly fine. However, the major issue is when I get into Google Home, all right. See, I've only got the fan power, and this fan power is basically from my Broadlink switch, and a part of that is the bedroom lights, which I can turn on and turn off, and yep, the entire room got dark. All right, and the same thing goes for the fan power as well. So although I've got the user defined remote and I've called it fan 2, that's over here, it's not in Google Home. So basically, when I try to use my Google Home speaker or the assistant from the mobile phone, I can't control my fan. And here's how you fix it. So you've got to get into the Broadlink app. Okay, so just for reference, I'm gonna have my fan 2 remain within the app, and I'm gonna set this up in a different way. So you've got to press this particular button under the universal remote, and once you've got that pressed, select the plus button. And now in this case, I'm using a fan. Okay, and you can do this for almost any device because you have an option to rename it. You have an option to basically rename anything. But in this case, I'm just going to select my fan, and I'm going to add the appliance, click OK. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this button that says that can't find my brand, learn the remote the right way. Click that, and it takes you to the configuration page. Now, depending on what type of device you're trying to configure, whether it's an infrared or a radio frequency, you've got to select it. So mine is a radio frequency control. I'm going to add it to my bedroom. Okay, and name your device. I'm going to name it as a fan, and it's going to take me to the next page. Just press I know it and use device now. Okay, so right now I want to talk about the difference of using this method, because when I selected the fan, when I selected that I don't have my control learn the remote the right way, I'm already in this page where if I were to click a button, I can basically start learning the buttons. So it gives you a layout, it gives you the buttons, and you have these options. However, in a user-defined remote, you have to literally add buttons, and when you add buttons, you can rename them and you can set icons to them as well, and that's what I've done here manually on a user defined button. So right now let's configure the fan that we have just set up. So I'm going to select the on button. I'm going to start learning. I'm going to learn a simple radio frequency code. Alright, so if you don't know your radio frequency for your remote, just click can't find the product manual, scan manually. All you gotta do is like hold your buttons for like 30 seconds, okay, and it will auto detect the frequency, and you can start configuring after that. So this might take some time. Oh, okay, that was fast. Okay, so I was pressing the button, the light was blinking here, and then it stopped. So it picked up the frequency. It's 433.8 millihertz per second. So I press start learning, okay, and now all I have to do is press so this is the on button, which means it's the low button. I press that once. I've learned it. Okay, select yes, and it's gonna load. Key learning successful. I'm gonna configure the off button, learn the simple RF code, select next. I'm gonna press the off button. Yep, it learned the code, and the fan, the basic functions of the fan has been added into Broadlink. Now, as you can see, fan 2 still remains there. That is the user-defined remote control. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Google Home. I'm just gonna refresh it, and the moment I have refreshed it, okay, the fan has appeared below. So press and hold to click it open and add it to your room. And once you've added it to your room, my fan is in Google Home, and I can use my speaker to turn it on. So all I've got to do right now is, hey Google, turn on the fan.
All right, turning on fan.
And the fan should be running, and there it is. So guys, I hope this video was useful to a lot of people out there, because there's nothing much that's in forums, and there are much more complicated explanations that's out there. All right, do you remember that if you're planning to do this for an auto gate or whatever it is, you can select almost any preset, because you have the liberty of renaming them. Literally, you could rename them. So if I hit property, I can just change this to auto gate, and after that all I have to say is like, hey Google, turn on the auto gate, or turn off the auto gate, and it's gonna configure the auto gate well enough. Oh, and you've also got some really cool icons that you can set.
I didn't understand.
That's something I didn't know of. So yeah guys, that's about it. That's how you add in a user defined remote, and for it to work with Google Home, and your assistant can pick it up. Your Google Assistant's gonna pick it up, and you'll be able to control it. So I hope this video was helpful. Share it around. Oopsie daisy. Yep, share it around, and have a wonderful day, and enjoy your new Broadlink smart home device. Thank you for watching.